Thank you for watching another episode of Dvar Malachus from Parshas, Behar, Bechukosai. Very exciting Parsha as we bless the month of Sivan. This from 5751, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, 1991. We were on page 313 at the top. The concept of Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month of Sivan, which is blessing on the holy Shabbos day in which we bless the new month, is stated explicitly in the Torah in the third month, Sivan. On this day, on Rosh Chodesh, they came to the Sinai Desert. The Sinai Desert is connected to Matan Torah, and the giving of the Torah, Sinai. Moshe received the Torah from Sinai, and the Sinai Desert as the exposition of our sages. It was given in the desert, in the ownerless area, so that whoever wants to accept it shall come and receive it. And therefore, when they came to the Sinai Desert on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, the approximate place for Matan Torah, the phenomenon of Matan Torah began immediately after Rosh Chodesh. Moshe began to be occupied with them concerning the receiving of the Torah, and in the wording of the Midrash, Hashem said, "Indeed, now it's time, and I will give them my Torah." And it's emphasized the Torah reading near the holiday of the giving of the Torah as known rule that we always read the Parshas of Midbar Sinai before Shavuos, which we begin reading during Mincha of this holy Shabbos, since the Midbar Sinai and the Sinai Desert, which the Jewish people reached on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, is the approximate place for the giving of the Torah. And when we explain the content of the Sinai Desert, the desert specifically in context with giving of the Torah, desert, Makum Hakef Hefker. Makum Hefker is a place that has no ownership, not the ownership of an individual, not the ownership of the public, as in the case of the public domain, a domain that is owned by the public, and being that it has no ownership over it, anyone who wants to come and acquire it, whoever wants to receive it, can come and receive it. And seemingly the giving of the Torah to the Jewish people is not in a matter that Hashem removed his ownership from the Torah, his Torah, and made it free and available for everyone, namely that it became like something that has no ownership over it, that every person can come and acquire it through an action that requires possessions, rather in a manner that he gave us his Torah, namely the Torah is in the possession of the Jewish people without needing an action to own it each and every day, Jew and Jewish, from young to old or old to young, including baby that was just born, and due to him being a part of the congregation of Yaakov, he inherits everything, the entire Torah. As the verse says, Moshe commanded us the Torah is an inheritance for the congregation of Yaakov. And based on this, we must understand that the reason why the connection of the Torah to the Jewish people that transpires on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, indeed is the time that I shall give them my Torah, is emphasized in the fact that on this day they came to the Sinai Desert, an ownerless place, and not a place that is in the ownership of all the Jewish people in the public domain, or just like the Torah that was given to the possession of the Jewish people. And on the other hand, we must understand the reason why the concept of a desert in the third month, on the very day they came to the Sinai Desert, is emphasized in the Parsha of Midbar we read right before Shavuos, and not in the Parsha that we read on the Shabbos, which the blessed in the day they came to Sinai Desert. Parshas Behar, Bechukosai, as the calendar layout of the lot of the year, as this year outside the Holy Land, that they are connected as read as one Parsha. And by way of introduction, that the reading of the Parshas B'Midbar before Shavuos is not only due to the connection of the Sinai Desert to the giving of the Torah, rather also and mainly because Ezra instituted that the Jewish people read the passage of curses in Leviticus before Shavuos, and the fact that we add and read also Bamidbar Sinai before Shavuos in order not to read the curses in Bechukosai right before Shavuos, namely the Parsha that we essentially read before Shavuos, instituted by Ezra, is Parshas Bechukosai, and in some years Behar Bechukosai as a double Parsha. And the connection of the content of the double Parsha is to the giving of the Torah is emphasized in the name of the Parshas Behar Sinai, the mountain on which the Torah was given, and Bechukosai, an idiom of Hakika, engraving, which alludes to the engraved letters of the tablets, which include the entire Torah, the written Torah and the oral Torah, and even what a veteran student will innovate. And in the content of the Parsha, both in the meaning of it, and Hashem spoke to Moshe on Mount Sinai, and the land should rest a Shabbos for Hashem. What is the emphasis of the connection of Shemitah to Mount Sinai? Weren't all the mitzvahs set at Sinai only as Shemitah? All the general laws, details, and fine details were given at Sinai. So too, all the mitzvahs, their general laws, details, and fine details were given at Sinai, as well as in the culmination. These are the mitzvahs that Hashem commanded Moshe to the Jewish people on Har Sinai. And we must understand that the reason for the fact that the Parsha, in this Parsha, which we read on the Holy Shabbos, from which Rosh Chodesh Sivan is blessed, upon which they came to the Sinai desert, it does not mention the aspect of the Sinai desert in the Parsha, but Midbar, which we read in Mincha, rather on the mountain of Sinai. And we may explain first the revelation, or the relation and significance of the place in the world in which the Torah was given on Har Sinai, which is in the Sinai desert, for seemingly being that the effect of the Torah is in the whole entire world. Why is it such great importance that the specific place in the world in which the Torah was given? And we may say that the choosing of a specific place in the world that is befitting the giving of the Torah emphasizes the goal and purpose of the effect of the Torah on the world, as we shall explain. And this will be understood based on the explanation of the connection of the Torah to the world, which is emphasized in the world on the Mishnah in the tractate Avos, as we study on this holy Shabbos. With 10 utterances the world was created. It says in the Zohar, the verse says 10 each spoon of holy shekels, 10 utterances for the work of creation, as the Mishnah states. With 10 utterances the world was created, 10 utterances for the giving of the Torah, namely the 10 commandments, which the world was not created only because of the Torah, and since the world was not created only because of the Torah, and as long as the Jewish people are occupied in the Torah, the world endures. If not for my covenant, day and night, the law of heaven and earth, I would have not placed, and concluded that through this it attains peace. Similar to the words of our sages, the entire Torah was given to make peace in the world. This means that through the 10 utterances of the giving of the Torah, the 10 commandments, we reveal the 10 utterances in the work of the creation, namely that the work of the creation is not in existence on its own, that it hides, moreover, concealed godliness, for its entire existence is only the 10 utterances, which through them there was the creation of the world from literally nothing in the 6 days of creation, and in his goodness he renews every day constantly the work of creation. For had the letter from the 10 utterances gone away for the moment, heaven forbid, the entire creation would return to literally nothingness, just as before the 6 days of creation, literally, and more specifically, as the continuation of the words of the Mishnah, with 10 utterances the world was created. And what does this teach us? Indeed, with one utterance alone they could have been created, only in order to punish the wicked who destroy the world that was created. With 10 utterances to give the good reward to the righteous who forfeited the world that was created with the 10 utterances. And by way of preference, the known question being that with one utterance the world could have been created, why should the punishment and reward for the world that was created with the 10 utterances, when the world is only worth one utterances? If he wants to add more utterances, it is not the wicked or the righteous person the one to be held responsible for this. And when we say the explanation of this is that the creation of the world, there are actually two manners, with one utterances and with 10 utterances. With one utterance, the manner was created, something matter from literally nothing, the primary material existence which is equal in all creations of the world. And with the 10 utterances, the form was created, revealed of the detail of the creation, that are the difference from one form to another through the division of the 10 utterances, including also the combination of the exchanges of the letters that roll about in the 231 gates of the front and back, as it says in the Sefer Yetzirah, which through this all the numerous specific creations of the world were created. And the difference between them, with the creation with one utterance, the creating of something matter from literally nothing, being that the creation of something from nothing is not a matter of close and being vested rather in a manner of being removed and separate, which is not revealed in the creation of their details and significance. The emphasis on the capability of Hashem with one utterance the world could have been created, that it is in his power and capability to create something from literally nothing, the power of the existence of Hashem, the power of the essence of Hashem, not the existence of the creation, which is the essence, which essence is after it was created, literally nothing, and its existence is only the revelation of his power and capability of Hashem in creating something from literally nothing. And in the creation with 10 utterances, all the myriad details, creations, and the deviations between them, each and every one with its unique characteristics, the main emphasis is on the existence of the world. With the 10 utterances, the world was created, that its creation is in a matter that specific content and specific and significance was given to every specific creation that was created with 10 utterances, which corresponds to the 10 Sefriot, 10 general contents, virtues, which include all matters that have importance and significance. And since the 10 utterances of the work of the creation correspond to the 10 utterances of the giving of the Torah, it is understood that the two aspects of the 10 utterances and the utterance in the world are also in the Torah. At the giving of the Torah, it says, Hashem spoke one, and I heard it as two. Namely, in the Torah, there are two aspects. One, one utterance, as it is from the perspective of Hashem. Hashem spoke, that just as Hashem is one, so too the wisdom of Hashem, Torah, is one, namely that all the matters of the Torah are one in essence. The wisdom of Hashem, the Torah, and Hashem are truly one. The two, to the existence of the division of the 10 commandments, 10 utterances from the perspective of the person and the world I heard, namely that the wisdom of Hashem descends and is vested in matters of man and world, which are in a matter of vast deviation. 10 commandments, which include 613 mitzvahs corresponding to 248 limbs and 365 sinews of a person. A small world, and likewise in the world, in a simple sense, in order to accomplish that the virtue and significance of the detail of the creation in the world should be utilized and be according to Torah, and therefore through the one utterance that is in the Torah, which emphasizes in the study of Torah, through the preference of being first on the Torah, which is the phenomenon of submission of giving the Torah Hashem, namely that it is evident that Torah, not much of the division of the details of the laws that discuss the matters of the world, rather the point of unity, that it is wisdom of Hashem. Hashem spoke one. We reveal it in the world as one utterance, namely that it is evident in the world, not the division of the details of the creation according to their specific qualities, rather the power of the essence of Hashem that creates the world from nothing to something. And through the 10 utterances, that it is the Torah that is in the Torah, which is emphasized in the numerous diverse laws of the Torah that are vested in the matter of the world, including all your actions shall be for the sake of heaven, and in all your ways should you know him. We reveal the world of the 10 utterances, namely that it is evident in the world that the content and significance it has, and the content and significance of the 10 utterances of Hashem correspond to the 10 heavenly Sefriot, the correspondence of holiness. And in significant and slightly other words, the effect of the one utterance and the nullification of the world, which on its own is not for the power of creation, is literally nothing, elevating it from below to above, from existence to nullification of the existence. And the effect of the 10 utterances is that the existence of the world be permeated with the completeness of holiness drawn from the above to below, and each one has what the other does not have. The advantage of the revelation of the 10 utterances that vest in the matter of the world in a matter of division in correlation with their specific characteristic. That it permeates the framework of the world. However, the revelation is only a level of godliness that relates to the world, and not the level of godliness that is above the world. And the advantage of the revelation of one utterance that is above the division of the matters of the world, that the level of godliness that is above the world is revealed. However, this revelation does not permeate the framework of the world, since the virtue and significance of the detail of creation, due to their unique makeup and characteristic, is not evident, and on the contrary, on their own, they are completely nothingness. And the true completeness in the combining of both of them together, that also the level of godliness that is above the world, one utterance is drawn, revealed, and permeates the division of the details of the creation, 10 utterances. And through this, the purpose of the creation, Hashem desires to have for himself, blessed be he, a dwelling in the lowest realms, is completed. A dwelling in which the dweller is revealed in his entire essence, namely not only on the level of godliness that is revealed to the world, rather also the level of godliness that is above the world, including the essence of Hashem, the level of the true unity of Hashem, one utterance, and the dwelling is in the lowest realms, that the revelation of the essence of Hashem is drawn and permeates the existence of the lowest realms, and they are divided and numerous from the perspective that they are made up and character 10 utterances. And in this, the effect of the Torah on the world through the one utterance and the 10 utterances is emphasized also in the preparation for the giving of the Torah through the counting of the Omer, from Pesach until Shavuos. The giving of the Torah comes after the preface of the Exodus from Egypt. The King of all kings, Hashem, his honorable self, was revealed to them and redeemed them, so that when you take them out of the nation from Israel, the nation will serve Hashem on this mountain. And since the intention of the giving of the Torah is the union of the upper realms and the lower realms, upper realms shall descend to the lower realms, and lower realms shall ascend to the upper realms. And a true union is not that the loftiness of the upper realms is diminished, for that then it is not upper in a true meaning, and that the lowest of the lower realm is diminished, for then it is not low in its true meaning, rather that the upper realm in its loftiest unites with the lowest realm in its lowliness. Indeed, this is accomplished through the preparation of the counting of the Omer. The content of "and you shall count for yourself from the day following Shabbos 7 weeks, and they shall count 50 days, the service of man, and the day following Shabbos, the day following Yom Tov, begins the service and the drawing of the revelation of the essence of Hashem, his honorable self, that is above the division of the world, the one utterance that it shines. And you shall count, an idiom of bright light revelation in the details of the division of the attributes, 7 weeks, 7 times 7, which is the person and the world, 10 utterances until the manifestation of, and they shall count, also an idiom of revelation, and to permeate in them the revelation of the 50th day, the 50th gate that is above 49 gates which are connected to the world, and within the 50th itself, not only the lower level that is revealed to the 49 gates, which for this reason is included in them 50th gate, rather also the higher level that is completely above 49 gates, the one utterance that is drawn and revealed on the 50th day. And may we add that the calendar layout of this year, the beginning of the Sefirot on the Motzi Shabbos, the day following Shabbos, also in a literal sense, and its end is on the day of Shabbos weeks that begin with Sunday and conclude with Shabbos, complete as the days of creation, complete within complete. It is emphasized even more with the revelation of his honorable self, permeates the framework of the world, completed weeks on the day of creation, and with extra emphasis on the special Sefirot counting Rosh Chodesh Sivan. In the 3rd month on this day they came to the Sinai desert in the 7th week of the 3rd day of the Rosh Chodesh Sivan, and the whole week was through the complete preparation for the giving of the Torah through the counting of the Omer. The 3rd day of the 7th week, the 45th day, is after 44 days of the counting Omer were complete, which they include the main service of counting the Omer and refining the attributes, because 44 days are the aspect of nourishing, analogous to the milk that makes the limbs of the toddler grow, the growth of the attributes of the animal soul, and elevating them through drawing forth the faculties of intellect, of nourishing in the 44 days of the counting of the Omer, analogous to blood, dam, 44, that becomes cloudy and becomes milk. And this is the preparation for the tasting of the grain, which is the phenomenon of the giving of the Torah, which is compared to bread on the holy Shavuos. And since the main service of the refinement of the details of the attribute is completed through the revelation of the light, which is on the comparative level, on the division of the details of the attributes of 10 utterances, we become prepared to receive the revelation of the light of the 50th day, which transcends the division of 49 days, the one utterance through the preference of the submission of Rosh Chodesh, the diminish of the moon, until it becomes from a dot, which then it can be the complete revelation on this day, on the 50th day. And a foretaste of this on Lag BaOmer, Hod within Hod, which is the Sefirot in the end, and completion of the Sefirot with regard to the main attributes which are called body, since from the level of Hod within Hod, the lower ends of the level called body, the main part of the attributes, and begins the level of the flowing forth, the outside of the body, and therefore there shines the revelation of the supernal light that is above the division of the details of the attributes through the preference of the submission of the levels of hadua, recognition, which this is the phenomenon of hod within hod, hence the exposing of the inner dimension of the Torah is accomplished on Lag BaOmer. And when we add in connection of Rosh Chodesh Sivan and the giving of the Torah, also due to the counting of Omer, of Rosh Chodesh itself, the 45th day of the Sephras HaOmer, which the number 45 is the numerical value of Adam, letters Aleph Dam, based on what is known that the Torah is compared to Dam, blood, which draws vitality to all the limbs equally, and is also called Adam, which this is the Torah, Adam plus Dam, as Aleph, which may say that Dam, which spreads out and is drawn all the limbs of the body, alludes to the 10 utterances, which is in the Torah that transcends the division of the details of the laws of the Torah. Hashem spoke one, which this phenomenon is accomplished through the preference of the submission of the service of prayer. And may we say that the phenomenon is hinted also in the Parsha that we read in the Torah on the day of Shabbos, in which is blessing the Rosh Chodesh Sivan, the Parsha of Behar Bechukosai. Behar, on the mountain's greatness and holiness, and its mountain is considered growth within the category of inanimate, alludes to the service in the matter of division into details, 10 utterances, which this is the emphasize the movement of the growth from level to level. They will go from strength to strength. The Bechukosai, an idiom of Hakika, engraved like the letters of the tablets, which are such that they are engraved that they are the same part of it itself, alluded to the essential point that transcends the division into detail of one utterance, which this is reached through the submission that is above comprehension. A statute I have made, a decree I have decreed, and you have no permission to wonder about it. And the union of them together that we read, Behar Bechukosai, and one Shabbos for the 7 people called up to the Torah, and one of them, the 4th, connects both of them through the blessing before the reading of the end of the Parsha, and Behar, the end of the reading at the beginning of the Parsha of Bechukosai, through a level that is the higher than both of them, denotes that also the division of the details Behar is permitted by the essential point that is above division Bechukosai. And we may say that the union of the two extremes is also hinted in the Parsha itself. Behar, Sinai, the numerical value of Sinai is the same Solomon ladder, which unites above and below in both matters of traveling, which are spoken about in the Parshas of Bechukosai. And I will stroll, in plural, 2 travels along with above to below Torah that was given from Sinai, and going from below to above. Prayer, the latter symbolizes prayer as emphasized in the ascent of Moshe to Mount Sinai, both for the purpose of receiving the Torah, as well as for the purpose of prayer for the Jewish people, which the general difference between drawing below Torah, which is studied with the comprehension emphasized on the person, the elevating of above prayer, known before whom I stand. Nullification of oneself is similar to the difference between 10 utterances and 1 utterances, that through 10 utterances the drawing below is accomplished, and through 1 utterances submission and elevating above is accomplished, and likewise, and even more in Parshas Bamidbar, which is the beginning we read in Mincha of Shabbos, blessing the month of Sivan, and the entire Parsha from its beginning till its end on Shabbos before Shavuos. Midbar, an idiom of Dvar, speech, which alludes to the speech of the Torah and is also the speech of prayer, the 2 motions of drawing below and elevating above, which are similar to the 10 utterances and the 1 utterance. Furthermore, and mainly, Midbar, an idiom of Dvar, speech, with the addition of mem, hints to the person who is speaking. Bimidbar, source of speech and its meaning regarding Torah, the emphasis of the virtue of the significance of the existence of the person in speaking words of Torah, to the degree of whoever reads and studies, Hashem reads and studies opposite him. Namely and mainly thing is the speech of the person, Hashem reads and studies opposite him, after him, and the levels of the Torah that is relative to the level of the person, 10 utterances, and Midbar, an idiom of Medeber, having a Harik Mem, that the speech is on its own, namely that he does not have speech, as in the case of Bidbar, having a Sheva Mem, rather as a matter that he has already spoken, rather in the speech in the manner of submission to the word of Hashem, that is speaking in him, in the speech of prayer, which is beginning in Hashem, open my lips, and the mouth will recite your praise. The verse, which is elongation of the Amida prayer, and similar to the Torah, that the study with the height of submission and a prayer of my tongue shall recite your words, as in one who repeats after the one reading. The level of the Torah is above the main one utterance, and the union of both of them as One is through a higher level that is higher than both of them. The phenomenon of desert, a good sense, a land, no man settled there, completely above the level of a person, which due to the level of the union of them is accomplished, that the one utterance shall be drawn and permeate the 10 utterances, that also the level of Torah that is above man, the level of my tongue shall reiterate your words, shall be drawn down and permeate the existence of the person through Torah study with comprehension to the degree of adding innovative insights in Torah, which in this is emphasized even more phenomena of whoever reads this and studies Hashem reads and studies opposite him, that the person innovates new insight in Torah, and Hashem repeats and says that innovation and insight of the person innovative. And we may say that since the order of the service, also the preparation for the giving of the Torah and the Parshas that we read before the giving of the Torah, is from easy to hard. Therefore, in the Parshas of Behar Bechukosai, we read the Shabbos before Rosh Chodesh Sivan, before the blessing of the new month, is emphasized mainly that there are two extremes in Parshas Behar, existence and the division into details, and in the Parsha of Bechukosai, submission and the point that is above division in details. Moreover, the beginning and end of the Parsha Behar Bechukosai is in the idea the mountain of Sinai, not or the desert of Sinai, mountain specifically, which emphasizes the matter of the existence and division in details. And in the Parshas of Midbar, we read Shabbos before giving the Torah is emphasized mainly in the union of the two extremes through the level that is above both of them, Midbar, desert, which no person settled there, as explained above. Based on this, we also explain the reason for the giving of the Torah in the desert, an ownerless place, specifically as emphasized in Rosh Chodesh Sivan, when they came to the desert of Sinai. In the reading of Shabbos before Shavuos, in the Parshas of Midbar, we explain above that the Midbar is the ownerless place, namely a place that has no ownership over it, not as a public domain, a domain that is in the possession of the public, and explained of what this denotes. Reading Torah, we may say a public domain alludes to the level of the Torah, is a level similar to that is related to the public. 600,000 Jews as public domain, which 600,000 Jews passed through, corresponding to 600,000 letters to the Torah, and therefore it is in the possession of the Jewish people in the first place, in a matter of inheritance, an inheritance to the congregation of Yaakov. The level of the Torah has relation to the world, the 10 utterances, and desert, an ownerless place, alluded to the level of Torah that is completely above relation to the world. The Torah and Hashem are one, and the one utterance that is the own has no relation to the possession of the public. Rather, Hashem releases ownership from it, so to say, and through this gives permission and the right to acquire it. And whoever wants it receives it shall come and receive it. And therefore the Torah was given in a desert, an ownerless place, in order to allude to the fact that the true incompleteness of the receiving of the Torah is when we receive also the level of the Torah that is completely above relation to the world, that in order that we be capable of receiving it, Hashem has to give it to an ownerless place specifically, and may we say that the true incompleteness of the giving of the Torah in the ownerless place will be in the time to come, for new Torah insights will come forth from me, the Torah of Hashem, literally, that is completely above relation to the world, and therefore is being given to the world in through it coming forth from me, that it leaves, so to say, the possession of Hashem, who releases possession of it, so that whoever wants to receive it shall come and receive it. And based on this, we may explain also the continuation of the verse on the third month, on the very day that they came to the desert of Sinai, and therefore he and the Jewish people camped there, and he camped in the individual terminology as one man with one heart, being the Jewish people hated arguments and loved peace, and they camped as one indeed in this time to give them my Torah, for in order to receive the level of the Torah that is above relation to the world, and the person which is given an ownerless place, and a person needs to leave his own existence through making himself an ownerless desert, complete submission. And this submission is expressed first and foremost in the gating of the arguments and the love of peace, since through the reason for arguments is feeling oneself, and through this one becomes befitting and prepared to receive the level of the Torah that is beyond relation to the world, which is giving an ownerless place. And although the preparation for the giving of the Torah in the desert is through submission, negating of one's existence, yet it is a matter of all who want to receive it shall come and receive it. Receive specifically the person's acceptance, not as the common terminology, the giving of the Torah given in the desert, which in this it is emphasized that also the level of the Torah that is above existence of the person permeates and becomes his existence through study and comprehension to the degree of innovation, new insights in Torah, and strength of the existence of holiness. We may say that the two extremes of the ultimate submission and strong existence are emphasized also in the reading of the Parshas of Bamidbar and the Shabbos before Shavuos and its beginning in the Mincha of Shabbos. The name of Parshas Bamidbar, so since it begins and he spoke in the desert of Sinai, denotes the height of submission like the desert that everyone treads on it, and the content of the Parsha regarding the counting of the Jewish people, which because of this the entire Sefer is called Chumash HaPekutim, denotes the strong existence. Something that is counted does not get nullified, and the great significance due to their being beloved to him. He counts them constantly, the Jewish people in general, and each and every Jew as Jewish. And when we say or add that these two extremes are emphasized also in the two reasons for the reading of the Parshas Bamidbar and the Shabbos before Shavuos to allude to the giving of the Torah in a desert and separate between the curses in the Parshas Bechukosai and Shavuos in a hinting of the Torah, giving of the Torah in the desert, the phenomena of the submission is emphasized, the one utterance that he makes himself like ownership and ownerless in the desert as explained above, and in the separation between the curses and the Parshas of Bechukosai and Shavuos, the aspect of existence is emphasized. The 10 utterances for the need for this separation simply is because the Torah is the source of all blessings, as emphasized in the Torah being with the letter base, acronym of bracha, being that with the most essential bracha emphasized in the shape of the letter base, which is closed on its sides, open on one side, which allude to the world that was created by Hashem in a matter of being surrounded on three sides, aside from the northern side, in order that the person through his service will complete and close up the northern side, which this is emphasized the virtue of the person, the strong existence which through him specifically in the world made to be surrounded from all four sides with no room to be breached, is the shape of a closed mem to the vast sovereignty, the closed mem in the middle of a world, which alludes to the redemption which is accomplished through the work of man in drawing and revealing an Aleph Aluf, master of the universe, in the middle of Gola, exile, to Gula, redemption. And when we connect the above said with instruction regarding action in a timely manner to gather groups every Shabbos, to gather in synagogues and study halls, to teach Torah in them, to the public also, including in a matter of establishing many students, which if this is said regarding every Shabbos, most certainly on Shabbos, from which the holiday of the giving of the Torah is blessed, to arouse and cause eagerness in every place, and during the reading of the 10 Commandments on the holiday of the giving of the Torah, all the Jewish children, also the very small children, even the babies in the crib, should be in the synagogues, as they are in the guarantors for the receiving of the Torah. Our children are our guarantors, and all this with emphasis on the two extremes of submission and existence, the one utterance and the 10 utterances, as mentioned above. On one hand, the aspect of submission, which is emphasized in the unity with many Jewish people to gatherings, and especially through the unity of the Jewish people, men and women and children, during the reading of the 10 Commandments, mainly that the unity is not only with the people who he relates to and are on his level of Torah study to gather gatherings, to teach Torah to them, to the public, rather also with small and very small children, that they are together come to the synagogue, and the ultimate self-submission. And on the other hand, together with the submission and the union with many Jewish people, also the strong existence of each and every Jew on his own, and expressed in the counting is emphasized that each and every Jew of them receives the Torah and studies it and comprehends it with his understanding to the degree of innovating new insights in Torah, each and every person befitting his level. And may it be the will of Hashem that this is the main thing, that the resolution to add in the unity of Jewish people, as is the preparation for the giving of Torah, they hated arguments and loved peace, will hasten accomplish the immediate nullification of exile, which caused the opposition of loving Jews, and when the cause is gone, automatically the result is no more. and immediately it is the true and complete redemption through Mashiach, which then there will be the completeness of the phenomenon of the giving of the Torah. Torah as new will come forth from me, and simply that even before the time holiday of the giving of the Torah and before Rosh Chodesh Sivan, presently on Shabbos, Parshas Bechukosai, we merit the fulfillment of the promise of the related fact of the beginning of the Parshas Behar, when you will come into the land, and the beginning of the Parshas of Bechukosai, and the land is given to the producer, and the trees of the field will give its fruit. In the future, the land of Eretz Yisrael will yield pastries and linen cloth, and the barren trees in the future will produce fruits. And in continuation to this, we come to the book of Numbers and the continuing and the counting of the Jewish people, each and every Jew, similar to what is written, and you will be collected one by one, O Jewish people, and all of them as one become one existence of a great congregation, as will be the 10th counting together with the 10th song and the 10th red heifer, and 10th shall be the holiness through the King Mashiach. May it be revealed speedily, Amen. So it will be the will of Hashem that literally immediately all see that Mashiach is already amongst us, and each and every single one should show his finger and say, here he, the King Mashiach, has already came. And in continuation to this, we come to the holiday of the giving of the Torah in the height of perfection, our holy land in Jerusalem, the holy city, on the holy mountain in the Beis Hamikdash, and in the Holy of Holies, in which is found the ark with the tablets, which are Bechukosai, engraved letters. Torah as new will come forth from me, the Torah teachings of Mashiach to the whole nation, including even the teaching of Hashem himself from me, literally, as the verse says, a person will not teach his friend anymore, for all will know me, and your master will be no more hidden from you, and your eyes will see your master, literally, immediately. Thank you so much for watching. We have special Shabbos coming up this week. Bechukosai, Behar Bechukosai. Good Erev Shabbos. Have a wonderful week. Zelle, thank you for watching.